What's up, guys? Joe McDonough here, back with my MMAnews.com. I'm joined by LFA headliner, LFA 104, Mr. Aaron McKenzie. Aaron, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man, and I appreciate the time. Third win in a row here, 6 of 7. Third fight in LFA, 3-0 in LFA. I'm sure you love that LFA banner. Talk to me about it. How has this stretch been for you?
Man, honestly, it's been awesome. After everything shut down last year, I had just got that split decision loss, so I wanted to get back in as soon as possible, but nobody was fighting. So then as soon as people were back fighting, LFA was one of the first to get back after the UFC, and they were really interested in getting me on as fast as possible. So I got in, I think, on their second set of shows in Sioux Falls. And since then, it's just been an amazing relationship after that. They treated me awesome. They really were a pleasure to work with. I really enjoyed them. So since then, it's just been one after another, and I've had a great time working for them.
And talk to me about 2020 in general, because it was such a weird year for fighters, especially kind of fighters in the regional promotions. You competed 3 times. Talk to me about kind of staying ready and how it paid off for you.
Man, it was tough, because for a little bit nobody could train. Everything was shut down. So I used to go down to Texas for part of my training camp. So I wasn't able to go down to Texas all the time and get my striking done. I wasn't able to go to jiu-jitsu all the time here. We were kind of sneaking in stuff in the garage, doing secret training wherever we could, whenever we could, just keeping it to small groups. And then as far as staying ready, my 2 fights last year for LFA, the first 2 were both 3 weeks notice. So I went from 181 to 156 in both of those in 3 weeks. So just trying to stay ready, staying as in shape as possible. I basically just treated all of last year like a fight camp. And the whole time I was getting better. So that was my goal, is to just stay ready, stay in shape, and be ready to go for whatever came up.
And talk about being under the LFA banner. I know you said that it just became a special relationship between you guys. UFC Fight Pass, everything, such a big breeding ground for the UFC. So to compete under that name and also be 3-0 under that name, it's a very good thing for you.
Yes, sir. It was great, and they matched me with good opponents. I've got great opponents on my record. I've never fought anybody bad. Everybody's got a winning record. And these last 3 dudes, I think they had if you count Giannetti's wins in the Tough House, he had 11 wins. Glacio had 9, and Brandon had 8 plus his kickboxing and boxing wins. So I'm fighting these good dudes, and they're matching me well. So I think I'm able to go out and show, I fought a striker, I fought a grappler, I fought another striker. I'm not fighting punks out there. So it's been really nice having Mark Bieri put me up against good dudes.
And I'm sure that you'd like to get right back in there. Are you eyeing down Nick Brown? I mean, that must be a fight that you'd like. Or, Contender Series is coming back this summer. I'm sure that's really what you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm ready for whatever. So if it's that LFA title I got to go take, I'll definitely take that fight. But I want to get in the big show. That's what I want more than anything. I'd love to go put on a show right in front of Dana. I feel like I'm the kind of fighter he wants. I'm exciting. I go out for the finish no matter what. I didn't get the finish in this last fight, but man, it was getting close, I think. The third round was about as close as you can get without stopping somebody. So I'm never going to give up. Doesn't matter what the scorecard looks like. I'm going to go out and try and rip somebody's head off if I can.
And for you, you said you want to get to the big leagues. Is it UFC or bust for you? Or would Bellator be, you've competed under Bellator's banner, that split decision loss to Chris Gonzalez. Is that something that you look at as they've continued to kind of up their depth and Bellator's become a big player?
I really hate to say UFC or bust, but right now my goal is to get to the UFC. So, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, I'm more than willing and more than ready to look into whatever options are out there. But the UFC is definitely something that I want to have attached to my name for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. And you started your amateur career 0-2, and your amateur career, I believe you went 1-2. Do you ever kind of look back? No, that's not true.
That's not true. Tapology and Sherdog are both wrong. MMA
Okay.
Underground's got my proper amateur record. I'm actually 8-3 as an amateur. I started out 3-0.
Okay. So, anyways, but to look from your amateur career to now, do you ever kind of take a look back and just see how far you've come, or is that not even a thing yet?
Absolutely. Like, just because somebody made a highlight video for me back when I was an amateur, and just to look at the differences from then to now, it's night and day. Like I was just a kid out there going and beating people up, but the technique wasn't there. I was winning on sheer want to, and just athleticism. These days, I feel like I'm much more of a technical martial artist, and I've done a really good job of finding the things that I'm good at, and making them better, as well as finding the things that I'm not so good at, and just drilling those until they're strengths.
Mhm. And you had said that obviously you'd love that contender series call this summer. I believe it's going to be going July and August. Would you wait on it, or is there a certain time when you say, all right, it might not be coming, I'm getting back in the cage? I mean, is there a certain deadline where I'm just going back to LFA and fighting again and again and again?
Yeah, I hate being inactive for my whole professional career. I've been basically on a two fight a year plan, and it's not been on my end. I have been accepting fights, and these people wouldn't fight me for a long time. So I was stuck and just at the mercy of opponents that were saying no. So I love being active. If you look at my amateur career on MMA Underground, I fought all 11 times in about 2 years. So
Sheesh.
yeah, I got after it a little bit. I was ready to go, and my old coach really, he was pushing the Emmy thing. I wish I hadn't done so many. I wish I would have got paid for a few of them. But, it was great experience for me at the time, and I couldn't be more thankful for it now. But like, I love fighting, 3, 4 times a year. If I can get into 5 times a year, I'm here for it. I don't take time away. I'm not one of those guys that fights and then he's out of the academy for a couple weeks or a month. I trained Monday. I trained again today. I'll be back in there in about an hour. I got to go teach an MMA class and spar with the boys. So I'm active. I want to stay active. So if it's a short notice call up, I'll take that. If it's the contender series, I'm more than ready for that too.
Hmm. And I look forward to what it is this summer. Talk to me in 1 year from this point. So 2022, a year from now in April, where are you? What's the record? What's happened in the last year?
Hopefully, we've got 4 more wins on the record. We're sitting at 14-2, and we're just working our way up the lightweight rankings. There's lots of guys that I think I'd be very competitive with, and I think I'd have great wins over. There's a bunch of dudes that are out there that are looking for opponents, and I'd love to be one. A couple of them fought this weekend, a couple of good 55ers. Luis Pena got one over my buddy Munoz. It was a split.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to fight I'd love to fight Pena. Tall dude, weird, rangy guy, but Giannetti was weird and rangy. So
Yep.
I feel like I've got good experience there. He's a little bit of a different grappler, but I'd love that fight myself. Clay Guida said he wants somebody that's on the come up. I'd love to fight Clay Guida. Really, I got the highest respect for that man. He's been around forever. But if he wants a contender, somebody coming up, I'm more than willing.
And that's a fun fight. I co-sign on that one. I want to see that one. Well, Aaron, that's all I've
Two
got for you,
dudes that
man.
won't stop. I'm here for it too.
Exactly. And a legend and up and comer. I love it. But I thank you, man. That's all I've got for you. I appreciate the time and I look forward to what this summer brings.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me on. Hope to hear from you soon.